let me back up. I'm all in the camera because I'm trying to get my light right.
Get your light together, Miss Sabrina. Get your light together.
I'm trying, girl.
I mean, it's working for me. You cute, but then my screen is small. But everybody looks super cute. I'm loving
I
Kelsey.
know. That's what I'm like.
I have to be outside because I've got a new puppy, and I'm so worried that if we come outside, he's gonna like pee on the floor or something in the middle of this. So I'm like, I'll just sit outside.
Let's just sit outside.
Oh Lord, can we see the puppy?
Yeah, hold on. Jasper, come here. Oh, grab it.
Where did Kathy go?
She left, I think. I think something must have happened.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh, him a pup. Look at him.
So
Oh, the ooga boogers.
This is my new baby.
Oh, you just have one?
No, this is my first fur baby. He's the youngest of 4. I've got 3 human children.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's your ooga noodles.
So I had 5 children. I don't need any more anything.
I have 2 children, and I had 5 fur babies. My mama Pita, her passed away in November, and I still ain't got over it because she was the one I had the longest.
Yeah, I always said when all of mine are sleeping through the night and potty trained, then we would think about getting a new baby. So my youngest is almost 5, and she's a big girl now. So I'm like, all right, you don't want to snuggle me anymore?
I'll get a puppy.
I'll get a puppy. Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest is 21, about to be 22 in a few months, and I feel like she's still like 2. I think she thinks she can be on my shoulders and everything. If she came in the door right now, she'd probably be all on my shoulder and sitting on my lap.
You so lucky. My 21-year-old don't fool with me. She be like, I'm finna go. I'll be back. And I be like, so you just not gonna talk to your mama no more? She's like, I love you, but I got this car and this career, girl. I'm out here living my best life. Leave me alone, mama.
I know that's right. I know that's right. My daughter and I work at the same place, so she's in my office all the time. Sometimes
look at the love. We work on the same branch, but different locations. And she's like on the go. My baby is also a late bloomer though, so she was under me her whole teens. So when she hit like 19, that's when she finally spreaded her wings. And I was like, but wait, you've been my baby all your life. What are you doing? I wasn't ready for this separation. What are you doing? And she is like, I'm a whole grown up, mama. And I was like, who told you that lie? Who told you that?
Let me check on Kathy. I can still hear you guys, but I'm going to check on Kathy and see what's going on.
And we got a new person. Hi, Miss Yvonne.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Y'all can't hear me.
We can now.
That is so crazy. I hate Zoom. I'm not doing Zoom no more. Zoom hate me as much as I hate it.
Everybody still. I can't see any video.
You can't see nobody?
Like I can see Sabrina, but she's frozen. And then that's it. And then I'm clear. Oh, Yvonne, you're moving, and then Kat, you're moving too. But Sabrina, you're like right there, and then now she's here, and then on Annalyn's iPad, I can't see her.
You can't see me.
Can
anybody else?
We don't get it together.
This Zoom last time. I ain't messing with Zoom no more. Zoom is
I'm jealous. I'm sitting here with water. You have wine over there?
What about the Facebook Messenger rooms? You know how they just came out with that? I've never used it, but
now here's the thing about the Facebook Messenger room. It only allows so many people, and then it starts kicking people off. So Google, I don't know how many people it is.
Yeah, Google has a thing like Zoom. And I'm thinking about trying Google because that's just probably way better. So yeah, I'm thinking about, because Zoom always gives us trouble. We got too much good energy.
Won't let us be great.
Listen, this the only Zoom meeting I participate where I turn my camera and my volume on. So normally I just show up so my name show up in the meeting. I say nothing and you don't need to see me.
Well, thanks for showing up, girl, and showing out. So this is how the call goes. We basically talk about any and everything, whatever's on your heart, mind. You don't have a filter. If you feel like saying it, say it. We don't judge. Like I said before, all this is going to be put together. And the main thing I wanted this to represent is people feeling comfortable with just being themselves. Because I feel like we show up with Easter suits on and we tippy-toe, eggshell walking, and you don't say how you really feel about stuff. So I want to empower as many people to get used to and to practice, because in this group, that's what you're doing. You're practicing being vocal and not giving a fuck, right? When you go in the real community, you're not going to be like when the doctor says, oh no, that's not cancer. And you be like, oh, fuck it is, check it out. Or send me to the right places. Because I think as women, we're so fearful of saying to the doctor, like, no, I know you need to do this, this, and that. So it's kind of like teaching and training us to feel comfortable with who we are. And then after something traumatic happens, we go in a little eggshell and we still are fearful. I just want us to be like, fuck that. I am who I am and I'm okay with that. You need to get where you need to be at and meet me there. If not, I don't need you in my life. Bye, peace. I'm out. I got some new friends, a new family. I'm good. I got a whole new body I ain't asked for. All right, I ain't gonna preach no more. But that's what I want
to the choir today, Kathy.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want this to represent. And if you want to come back every week, you can. And I'm going to give you a title. You just don't know what your title is yet. You'll see it in the video. But you'll be considered an expert, right? Because I think we all go through things and we need validation. That's what we need. Validation. We need love. We need someone to tell us we're doing a great job. So as this group continues and as you come back every week, I see something in you that you have no clue of what you have. So as this air, you're going to be like, oh, that's my title. And it's going to empower you because sometimes we don't see the things we have in us, right? We don't. We stick to, I'm a great customer service care coordinator, but someone else can see something in you that you can't. So I may think you're a bomb advocate for women or a bomb advocate for kids or children or whatever it is. And you may never have thought of it, right? And then whatever I can do to help you excel, and you can use my platform, right? I just ask, just let me know, because I know my platform could help you in many ways. So if it's, I don't know, I know like Kelsey has a podcast. She don't know it yet, but behind the scenes, I'm gonna help her promote that thing. And I know like Sabrina has her beauty and nails and hair. And so everybody has something about them that if I can help you heighten that, girl power.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
All the way.
All the way. And that's how it is. I just want us to continue to help each other. And even if you can't, then you know somebody else, and just empowering each other to be better and do better. Like I just want a girl group. I mean, guys want to join too. They can, but I'm all about girl power. And if we could just help each other elevate to other levels, you know, somebody gonna pull back and get you too, you know, and that's how it is. I just want us to create a positive environment where we keep getting it. And people gonna hear our names and be like, oh, I remember them.
Right.
You right.
Right.
So that's it. If y'all don't have any questions, or if y'all want to throw some out while I'm setting up my Facebook and Instagram, I usually go live on both of those, and we get started. I'll let y'all talk if y'all got something to say. Look.
I want to say something real quick, if you all don't mind. So starting on Monday, I decided 2 weeks ago to sign up to become Miss Muscle and Fitness.
Oh, shit. All right.
She's gonna get her sexy fine out.
Which is like, oh my God, you know. And so the contest, it's to win $20,000. And so what I've decided to do is to contribute to 4 organizations. So I have selected Angel in Disguise. I have selected For the Breast of Us. I have selected Metaviver, and I've selected the Victory Center. The Victory Center is a local spot here in the Toledo area. So each organization will get $5,000 if I win the cover. So just wanted to let you know, I'm pretty.resilient on Instagram. So if you want to go ahead and follow me there and you want to vote, I've got my link in my bio. So that's all.
Okay.
So
you should post it. Did you post it?
Yes. I posted
I'm gonna go copy it.
Okay.
Me too.
Awesome. And then it's on my Facebook, but I'm Kelsey Smith, so that's not like the easiest name to find on Facebook ever. So nobody.
Yes, it is coming from Katina Smith.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm seeing the follows and everything. Perfect. Thanks, girls.
It's funny, Kelsey. I have another friend named Kelsey Smith, and I was like, "Could we possibly be on the same podcast and didn't even know it?"
That's so random.
I met her at like a young adult cancer camp.
Really? So there's another Kelsey Smith that also has breast cancer?
She didn't have breast cancer. It was she had a tumor in her. She had cancer in her neck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I was like, how random would it have been if we had ended up on the same
call?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Kelsey, what's your drinking in your cup?
I voted for you, girl. I just voted for you.
Thank you. I got a Patek Red tonight. Usually I come on and I'm drinking water, but tonight I was like, you know what? I want a glass of wine. Because I don't know about you girls, but like I'm estrogen positive and I have to take my tamoxifen for 10 years. And sometimes like my bones will just hurt and ache and it'll feel like I'm crashing. Like I don't have enough estrogen. So when that happens, sometimes I crave alcohol. Like I just need to like have a drink.
Wait a minute.
And I'm good.
Okay, so hold on, because I want to talk about that. Wait a minute, let me go live because I want to talk about that because that's me, right? People don't understand that, and I'm glad to know somebody else is like that. Hold on, I'm gonna go live.
Can I eat while we on?
Oh yeah, girl, we don't care.
Okay.
We not one
We
of those
do everything over here.
right, like we're not one of those groups where you can't.
No judgment zone.
Exactly. Fuck it.
I know. I
Thank you.
need my background. This is too zen-like. All right, just waiting for Facebook to go.
Everybody keep calling.
Everybody calling your phone?
Yeah, everybody keep calling. Why don't
That always
trying to do
happens. That always
I said
happens.
that's so they know you're trying to do something.
Yeah, I'm actually in Crew. For those who don't know me, I'm in Crew, Virginia, and the power was out, so I had to like figure out what to do. So I came back to the office so I can not be in the dark.
What you say? Your lights went out?
Yeah, our power is out.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
Jesus is on the main line.
Yeah, it was trying to storm around here earlier. The wind kicked up for a little bit about an hour ago.
That's all it took because we didn't get no rain.
And see, I'm in Texas. We got rain and sunshine at the same time.
Really?
I was sitting here at the table and eating lunch, and I'm like, I keep hearing rain, but I'm looking at the window like the sun is up. I had to literally go open the door like it is for real raining, but the sun is out. Welcome to Texas, where the weather is also bipolar.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready. All right. Hey guys, thanks for joining. It's Real Talk Rebels podcast, and of course, as always, it is a place where you can feel safe. And not only that, you can talk as much junk as you want to. We are real here on the podcast. We talk about any and everything. There's no limitations as well as there's no judgment. So we are building a better community within ourselves because we have to hope, we have to heal and cope at the same time. Once you know that, you'll be okay. So on the podcast, which you guys are actually viewing the behind the scenes. So a lot of people have been asking me like, why I can't see people? You know, you're not gonna, you stuck with me. Okay, you stuck with me. Because the way technology is working, it never works behind me. So you stuck with me. But on the for real, we will be putting together the podcast so you can see the whole thing put together, and you will see the beautiful host, the guests, and everybody else is on the other line, as well as the parts that we leave out during the show, because usually Facebook and Instagram cuts me off. Okay, that's all we got. So with that being said, hey ladies.
Hey.
Hey. So I'm just going to go from the top and introduce everybody, and then if you can tell me a little bit about yourself, and it could be what you do, it could be where you at right now in life, it could be some funny stories, it could be whatever you want to say. So Sabrina, being that you're right here beside me on the top, let's start with you.
All right, I'm Brina Cole. I'm the co-host. I am a hairstylist, nail tech, moonlighting as a nurse.
Yes. Okay. And we have, do you say your name? Annalyn?
Annalyn.
Annalyn. See, I would mess that all up. Go ahead, girl. Tell us about yourself.
I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I have no
What?
legs, no boobs, no ovaries, and I'm still fucking rocking it. I have 3 babies who are not babies anymore. I am a baker. My chocolate cake is fucking out of this world, and I am a burlesque dancer.
Okay, hold on.
What kind of dance?
And I'm a birth doula. So I always joke that if it starts with the letter B, I do it. Breast cancer, bone cancer, baker, burlesque dancer, and birth doula.
Good Lord.
No way.
Freaking rock star.
Right. And look, don't try to act like you just paying over what you just said. You said a 3-time cancer survivor.
Yes.
That's huge.
So that's me. I had bone cancer at 4 times.
I'll drink to that.
Bone cancer at 14. It returned in my lungs at 16, and I had breast cancer at 33.
So the youngest age was, how old were you?
14.
14.
Wow.
And not that I don't want to get to know the rest of you ladies, because I know all y'all, but I'm sorry. I'm amazed by you right now, and I'm humbled by you. And I just want to say I love who you are. And I don't know, like everybody who comes across me, I'm attached in some type of way. 14 years old. What the heck? Like, what was that like for you? And if it's anything that I'm talking about that's uncomfortable, please be like, Kathy, that's too much, right? And I'll stop.
No.
What in the world was that like for you at 14? Like, how did you know? And like, I'm lost for words at 14.
First of all, that's kind of a funny story. It's how my mom told me. My baby sister was only 4 months old.
Right.
And my mom was holding my baby sister, waiting for me to come home from school, which she never did. Like, so I saw her by the front door, and I was like, oh crap. And then she's like, put your backpack down and go sit down. And I thought I was in trouble. Like, I was racking my brain. I'm like, did I not clean my room? Did I not do the dishes? What did I not do? And then she sat down and just told me that I had bone cancer. But the whole time I just thought that I was in trouble. I thought that I was being grounded for something.
So how did they find out you had bone? Did you have symptoms or signs or something wasn't right? Or did you just do a test by accident and your labs came back or something? Like,
no, they figure I had it for at least 9 months before I was diagnosed. I was in so much pain that I told my mom, I was like, take me to the emergency room because I can't walk. And I told some old white dude, doctor, I'm like, please take an x-ray of my leg. And he rolled his eyes at me and he's like, tell your mom to buy you some new shoes. And I knew, like, that was at 13. I'm like, and I knew something was wrong. And I'm like, please take an x-ray. And my mom's like, look, she doesn't complain a lot. If she's saying she's in pain, take an x-ray. And he like just ignored us. And then months later, I fell and my leg started swelling and the swelling just never went down. So by the time I was diagnosed, it was like My tumor was like the size of a softball. It had eaten away my knee joint, my muscle, like everything. Like the
So
x-ray.
that, like, girl, I'm about to cry. I don't cry easily. Lord have mercy. So this is happening more and more that I can see, and it pisses me off. Number one, because so my daughter, when she was 16, she was like you. So never ever got sick a day in her life. Never. She had very high tolerance for pain. And one day she called me and she was like, Mom, like my stomach is hurting so bad. I got to go to the ER. My daughter ain't never go to the doctor or anything before that. Like only for a physical for like maybe sports. And so I knew something was really wrong. She got to the ER, and because she was high tolerant with pain, the doctor said, well, you know, rate your pain. And she rated her pain like a 5. And so in the ER, a 5 is like, oh, that ain't nothing. Like you good. You can wait. By the time I drove literally 2 hours, because that's where I was working at, she still wasn't seen in the ER. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? They said because she didn't say her pain tolerance was higher, that everybody else had to go before. And this is like when the flu was something, it was crazy. By the time and I'll never forget, it was February 13th. By the time she got to do an x-ray and everything else, she had an ovarian cyst that was this big. And the ovarian cyst had twisted her tubes, and literally she couldn't get up no more. And they were like, oh my God, something's really wrong. So about time they got to her, we had to have emergency surgery. Now it's February 14th. We're in the hospital spending Valentine's together. But she had no physical, like you couldn't see anything, right? Physically, we couldn't see it, you know, in her stomach. It didn't look like she was pregnant or nothing. It was just because her pain tolerance was so high. And then the doctor who was actually the one performing the surgery was her GYN, which was another woman, which pisses me off more, because we as women always get like pushed off. Like, oh, it's nothing. Oh, you're going through the motions. Oh, it's the birth control. Oh, it's not that. Like, damn it, it is what it is. Like, check it out first and then tell me. You can't see it. So when I hear your story, it messes with me, because I'm thinking about how many young girls doesn't have a voice. Like, we've grown, you know, we know, and we can say whatever. And when I go to like these breast cancer conferences all the time, and the kids get younger and younger and younger, it freaking bothers me. Like hearing your story and then hearing the doctor say the same thing, like, oh no, you're good. No, we're not. Like, do your job, and your job is one thing only. Like, send us for testing. That's it. We don't want to know what you think you know, because you don't know.
Right. Don't try to minimize my pain.
Yeah. What bothers me as well,
Period.
like I live in Canada. We have universal health care. It doesn't cost me anything to send me for an x-ray. Like, send me for fucking x-ray.
Right.
And that's how I was diagnosed.
Seriously. Right.
Like, I had
And the crazy thing is, you gonna pay for the x-ray anyway, so it's not like it's coming out of the doctor's pocket. Idiot.
No, right.
No, it's not coming out of your pocket. It's not coming out of our family's pocket. Just send me for the fucking x-ray.
This lemonade, I wish I had something in my drink, because now I done got mad for you all over. Like, because it gets me. It makes me mad, because even like for my situation with breast cancer, it's like I had a man doctor. It was my GYN. I felt like I had cancer maybe a year or two before, because I had like signs like my body like broken into all these like splotches, and I'm like, oh, what is it? They was like, I don't know. And then I reported like I had a little knot under my arm. At 34, 35, I'm not thinking breast cancer. And instead of them saying, hey, it may be possibly cancer, he's like, oh no, you're not old enough for cancer. You don't have nothing to worry about. And then when you hear these stories, 14, 16, 18, it's no age. It's no freaking age. Okay, I'm off my tangent. Okay, so now you are how old for the second time?
So I was diagnosed with so I had metastatic lung cancer. So basically the bone cancer traveled up to my lungs, which thank goodness I did have a doctor that advocated for me, because they're like, oh, there's a spot on your x-rays. There's a spot on your x-rays, but it's not moving. We're just going to monitor it. And finally my orthopedic surgeon was like, screw that. I have lost so many patients to metastatic bone cancer this year. He's like, would you be willing to just go for surgery just to have it taken out for my peace of mind? And I love him and trusted him. And I went, yeah. And so we went in, and they found out that that was a calcification on my lung, but right next to it was 2 or 3 small tumors that were alive that were too small to be caught on the x-rays.
Oh,
so
my
like
God.
someone's looking out for me. Thank goodness I listened to him, because had I not gone for that surgery, who knows how long it would have been until we'd found the lung cancer. So that was at 16. And then the month before I turned 33, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, which we caught early because my doctor that time knew me so well that when I said I've got a lump in my breast, she's like,
God.
we're going for an x-ray. We're doing a biopsy next week. Like she bullied her way in.
It's like kudos to that doctor, right? Because I feel the same way. So I mean, it's like God sent me finally like 5 doctors that all worked together that was able to catch my cancer the second time, because it would have just slid through because it reversed itself to something it totally wasn't. And my oncologist didn't catch it, right? And that's the one who saved me the first time. So my general surgeon actually caught it, which has nothing to do with, I was just doing a follow-up. And he was like, wait a minute, let me look at your labs. You know how many times you go to the doctor when the doctors don't look at the labs, if they, even though they didn't order it, they should always ask you for labs. They should always ask you when is the last time you had your lab work done. Because if it wasn't for him, my cancer came back in 4 days. I left the oncology one day, I was clear. Next day, it was like, oh, you got to do lab work for this appointment. I had to go back because they didn't do a full lab, right? And when I went back, he was like, oh, this is different. And then I found out I had cancer again. So like hearing your story is like kudos for the doctors who actually, and I know doctors are overworked, but they should say no, right? You have people's lives in your hand. You should say, no, I can't do it no more.
He was the only one who's like, you should go have surgery. Everybody else was like, he's overreacting, he's being too much. And it's annoying because like having such a fantastic doctor at such a young age who fought so hard for me, over the last 20 years, I have no problem calling out shit doctors. So I'm like, look, I've had the best doctor ever. I know that you can do better. I know that you can listen to me. I know that I'm not too young. Like, no, you can fucking listen. And I know you can. Right. Because I had an amazing example of what like real advocacy and consent looked like.
So what about that? Right. So bedside manner, and then we're going to get everybody else to introduce themselves. But bedside manner as a child, because I know as an adult, some doctors suck. And after cancer, I started saying how I feel. I tell people when they're rude, I say, you gone beyond your job duty, and now you're a police officer. You don't, speak to me that way like you're about to arrest me. Sometimes doctors are crazy. And I'm like, if you don't want me as a patient, then you need to fire me because I'm going to fire you. And I think we need to understand our patient advocacy and our rights. You don't have to stick with no stupid doctor. I don't care what your insurance say.
Yep.
If they're not treating you with respect, bye.
Done. Yep.
Find somebody new.
Right. So I'm so humbled to have you here with us, and I'm so blessed to have you here. And God continues to have you here for a reason and a purpose. And whatever that is, our group is going to just lift you up with all this positive energy, girl power, and the guys too. But welcome. You're welcome anytime you want to come back for some love.
Oh, I'm here.
Yes. All right, Miss Kelsey, what we got going on, girl? Tell us all about your good news.
Oh my God. What's really crazy is I just got an email from April Johnson Stearns from Wildfire Magazine. I always get like, is it Johnson Stearns or Stearns Johnson? And I've been trying to write, and my articles have been getting rejected, but I'm like, okay, I just gotta keep it going. But I did decide to put my name out into, the Wildfire Magazine to, let people know that, hey, I exist. I am here to help. I am, going to be doing a podcast here. So things are just moving along over here on my end. And basically, I don't really have too many crazy updates. I got my hair done before the cases shot up. So I'm pretty happy about that.
And it's looking good. It's looking good.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Guys.
Shout out to Sono.
Right.
And
so you do have a lot of updates. You do have a lot of updates. Let me remind you, you got to tell people about voting for you.
right. So I am competing to be on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Her magazine. I signed up like Muscle and Fitness 2 weeks ago. I signed up for it, and the voting just started this week. And there's a $20,000 cash prize, and I have elected I picked 4 organizations to donate $5,000 to. So they are Angel in Disguise, For the Rest of Us, Metaviver, and the Victory Center. I feel like these 4 organizations absolutely, they're thriving, they're doing wonderful, and they could use the additional help. And I just wanted to do something good for the community and give back. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at pretty.resilient. And in my bio is the link to go ahead and vote. I'm in like 15th place right now because I just started letting everybody know yesterday. I'm like a day late, but I'm hoping that the universe will have my back. And we'll keep it going.
I'm gonna repost her stuff so everybody who follows me can go vote for my girl. Okay.
Thank you.
Because that's wonderful. And then,
thank you.
Yes, girl. We're gonna put in the atmosphere. You got it. You won.
That's right.
You brought up a good topic real quick before we go to everybody else to introduce them. We were talking about wine.
Yes.
And how our bodies. So you go first, and then I'm gonna tell you about how my body is, but how your body is like, oh, I need a drink, and I need it now.
Yes. So here's the interesting part about this whole, breast cancer experience that nobody really tells us. I can't give you the exact statistics, but 80% of diagnoses are of the milk duct. So invasive ductal carcinoma is the typical type of breast cancer that people are diagnosed with generally. And then what happens is they, pathology will grade the cancer, and they'll make a determination on what makes the cancer grow. So they look at 3 factors in particular. They look at estrogen, progesterone, and HER2/neu. So we all know what estrogen and progesterone is. HER2/neu is a receptor that we all have. And if it's like multiplying like crazy, then you're HER2 positive. So they make this determination. And I am ER/PR positive. So basically, when I was diagnosed, I was put into what I call chemopause, which is basically like chemically induced menopause. So that, estrogen is a food source. So it basically needed to get cut off, and I'm still taking an estrogen blocker. So I'm on it for a total of 10 years. So since I'm on this estrogen blocker, I had a really interesting relationship even with alcohol, because the thing about alcohol is alcohol has estrogenic properties in it. So it will convert into estrogen. So if this is why, heavy alcohol use is tied into breast cancer. People don't think about it, but it's an intoxicant because it makes breast cancer grow with estrogenic properties. However, yes. So that's the thing. So that's the truth about, keeping it really limited, like the binge drinking on the weekends, taking 10 shots every weekend and stuff. Stop doing it if you're listening, because it can absolutely, turn into breast cancer and make your breast cancer grow and go crazy. So, you got to really watch your drinking. So what'll happen though, in my case, because I'm taking this tamoxifen and I'm so estrogen responsive, sometimes like my bones will hurt and I will crash. And it's like, I need like estrogen in my body, and I can't, take estrogen. So I'll sometimes want to drink. And that's why I'm drinking wine tonight. Because I'm like, my bones last night were just hurting so bad. So do you go through that as well?
So I was about to say, so clearly I don't know, like I'm like you, I'm going to do more research about this, because I always see research to tell us don't drink, right? Oh, don't drink. but it never tells you. Like I always say, it feels like, you know how you're drained by the sun, and it's like you don't have no more. You be like, man, I'm tired. The sun to whip my butt. That's how my bones feel, and literally, I feel like the sun has absorbed all my nutrients out my bones, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's an out of body experience. And to hear you say it, it's like you're the first person that I've ever known to know how I feel about that, like, because I'm like, what is it's weird because you don't want to tell everybody because they're like, what, girl, that ain't nothing. You're like, no, it feels like, and then you're zapped. I lay in my bed all day, and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm chilling because when my body says rest, I'm rested. Like that's one thing I've learned. And then when I want to go out and have fun and whatever, I'll do that. But no, so it happens to me too. And it seems like even walking hurts, and people don't understand or know it, and you just continue to push through. But sometimes I'm like, leave me alone. My bones are like I'm 90.
Yeah,
and it's not arthritis.
Yeah, totally. And I have bursitis right now. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, people don't talk about like the additional diagnoses that you end up with. Like, you have this go wrong, you have that go wrong, and like, and bursitis is like an inflammation of the what is it? The bursa. You start like, you feel like you're like a semi-doctor, you know, when you go through all this because you learn all these terms. But I have it in my right hip right now, and it just like it's an inflammation of like the padding in the hips. So it's really painful, and it's gnarly. Like the maintenance medication and going through this, being young and estrogen positive and being estrogen receptive, it's rough. And then, you know, I know tonight we were gonna talk about like dating and all that, and forget about it.
You're like, who wants to do that? You want some booty? No, you can't get none of this booty. Like, listen, let me tell you, I have lost so many guys that are so attractive to me. I'm like, this booty costs money because it took me a while to get this from 14 surgeries. And listen, thanks breast cancer, but no thanks. You're not getting no booty. And then I'm like, it's hormones. If you can't understand my hormones, I'm sorry. I ain't giving him no booty.
I broke up with a guy because of that. I literally had him in the gynecologist's office with me. Like, she's explaining to him, you know, hey, her estrogen is basically cut off. She has fake estrogen, like, because the tamoxifen. And he's like, oh, you know, and I'm like, and it's so crazy how we have to like justify ourselves and we have to explain ourselves so much. It's like, it's such like a male ego thing for them to be like, oh, well, I'm not getting her, you know, hot enough or whatever. No, it's not that. Just my vag just doesn't want to work. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry,
like,
you gotta
all
take your
emotion
time
is
to
turned
work
off.
with me. It just turned off, you know. But what's funny is that this wine glass is from my last booty call. We went to a hotel and I was like, we're doing it. Let's just go. Let's.
Right.
And
Thanks, booty call. And I got the wine glass out of it.
Yes. It felt like a win. It was like, I just felt like it was like, okay, I said I wanted it and I got it. And that was it. That was it. So, you know, it's like, it's funny how this like kind of teaches you that you have to, especially like in the bedroom and stuff, you have to be assertive because like 90% of the time relationships fail after a breast cancer diagnosis. Like I'm in that 90%.
Me too.
Crazy.
But you know, the crazy thing is though, I appreciate it though, Kelsey, and then we'll go to somebody else, but I appreciate it because you know what? It made me understand my worth, right? Totally. To know how much I went through. And I keep saying breast cancer survivors are harder than some men. You know, it's some wimps out there. Right. And I'm like, I don't need no little wimp. If you can't handle me now, oh, baby, move out the way. Because now my self-esteem is not like, oh, she thinks she all that. And I know I'm all that. I beat something that almost killed me twice. What's up? Like, I mean, can you do that? Like,
seriously.
Like, can you do that?
You can't step to me at this point.
Right. And I can appreciate it though, and it makes me look back at the men that I was with and be like, man, you weren't even built to last with me anyways. I'm glad I didn't get married to you. I'm glad I didn't have no babies by you because you couldn't handle little old breast cancer.
Ooh, child.
That's right.
You could not handle me afterwards because, honey.
People when they start to tell me about when I get the pity about being an amputee, and I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. I didn't have to date half the shitheads you guys all had to date because they weeded them the fuck themselves out. The second they saw one leg, they were gone. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Wait a minute. You got to tell people how to follow you because your pictures are so beautiful.
Okay, Sabrina.
Tell people how to follow you.
I'm on Instagram under Annalyn, ANALYN _Erin, ERIN.
Yes, if y'all see her pictures, I'm always in love with her picture. I'm like, what are you doing now? What is that? Who took that? I don't know. I'm like an artsy person, so I'm always like, oh, that's nice. I'm gonna try that. But you, girl, you freaking rock. Okay, let's go. Let's see who's next on here. Ooh, honey. Tina, what's up? You looking like money.
Oh,
Hey.
you look beautiful.
Hey, y'all. This is 10 minutes before I realized, oh, I got an hour because I'm in Texas, so it's 6:45 here. So when I looked at the clock and I saw Kathy's text about the Zoom meeting, I was like, oh, I got an hour. And then I said, no, she an hour ahead of me. Let me throw on some lashes and some lipstick. So I just won't be sitting here looking like pure trash on this Zoom.
It's okay, honey. Tina has arrived. She's here. She's ready.
Hello. Woo, with these ceiling plants under this thing. Listen to me. I put it together well in 10 minutes. But hey, y'all. I'm Tina. I am everything. Everything. I am a survivor. I was diagnosed at the tender age of 21. I was pregnant with my son when I found my lump. And kind of the same thing like Annalyn. I went to the doctor and I'm like, hey, I got this lump and this is my second kid, so I know this isn't normal. And they gave me every story under the book. Oh, it's the milk ducts. It's this. It's that. Oh, breast cancer doesn't hurt. You're 21. You're young. It's not this. So I found my lump when I was like about 6 months pregnant. So fast forward, gave birth. The lump got bigger. Long story short, because I've told this story on Zoom like a couple of times, so I'm not going to bore everybody with my long, sad, sob, hurrah story. But I pretty much went to every hospital in Dallas, in Denton County, in Tarrant County. I drove hours trying to get somebody to listen to me because my lump was getting bigger and my boob was turning purple and blue and my nipple inverted. And I'm like, something is wrong. And I basically had to hijack the hospital. And I was like, listen, I'm not leaving till y'all give me a decent answer. Because everything y'all done gave me beforehand has been bullshit.
Right. But that's huge, Tina. That's huge, though, because not everybody is going to do that, number one, because people are scared. But I mean, honestly, from hearing you, it's kind of like, well, what else, when I turn back around, what else is there that I'm facing? Death. So you're going to find out I'm not leaving, or you're going to have to arrest me or something because I need this to be checked out. Right.
I mean, because they were giving me medicine. They were saying, oh, you have an inverted nipple. It causes mild to moderate pain. And I'm like, bullshit. I can't sleep at night. It felt like somebody was stabbing me. And it was just hours on end that imagine you're already up with a newborn baby. So that's already an added stress as being a new mom. You moms know how it is to be up with a newborn baby. And then I'm up with a newborn baby who's whiny and cranky and wanting a bottle and wanting his pamper change. And I'm having this repeated stabbing pain that I can't even get to or nurse because nothing makes it go away. The medicine they were giving me, the creams they were telling me to rub on me, nothing made it go away. I'm at work and I have to go in the bathroom and sit and take my bra off and rock back and forth and cry because I haven't been to sleep and the pain just won't let up. They're giving me pain medicines, but it's only making me sleepy. It's not making the pain go away. And of course, going to every single doctor and they're saying, well, breast cancer doesn't hurt and you're 21. So it's not this and it's not that. Oh, it's this, it's that. And they're doing biopsies and they wouldn't give me a mammogram because of my age and because at that time I wasn't educated on my family's history of breast cancer. So I didn't know anybody else in my family who had breast cancer at a young age. I didn't find out till afterwards that I had an aunt who was diagnosed, a maternal aunt who was diagnosed at a young age. But I didn't know this when I was going back and forth to the doctor because she lives in a whole nother state and we're not really close.
Right.
So I didn't talk to her. So I didn't know. So long story short, I hijacked the hospital and I refused to leave until they gave me something that I can answer. And I had an asshole doctor too, Anna Lynn, who basically came in there with a sheet of paper and he was like, well, we can take it out. We can just remove your nipple. And I was like, do it now. Shit, I'll
Right.
fucking cut it for you.
Right, because that's the reason why you're there.
Let me
Right.
get
Right. Cut this. Right. Shit, I don't need no medicine. I'll do this my damn self. I was straight like, fuck it.
And you know what? And you bring up like a great point because I think people don't understand. Sometimes we're so passive on a lot of stuff, but sometimes resilience, resisting, and demanding get you results. You can't be passive with cancer because like with mine, it was like one night I went to sleep, the next morning my boob was this big. And I was like, how did this happen overnight? And it was aggressive breast cancer. And
exactly.
You say aggressive, I'm thinking like, no, you need to give it a hurricane name, like killer. Like,
okay, hornet, what they call a murder hornet.
Listen, right? Because it wasn't anything that was like, oh, it's aggressive. Like, no, like it's. I mean, for you to wake up to have a double D boob, and next thing you know, it's like the size of a FF. I don't know. I mean, what's bigger, a Z? I don't know, but it was big, right?
Girl, triple Z.
Right.
At your navel.
Baby watermelon. That's
right.
what I felt like. But so welcome, Tina. And Tina is the diva model. I'm gonna teach us how to walk, how to cook and walk and do the diva walk.
Listen, yes. I learned my diva walk from Miss Kathy. I watched Kathy 2 minutes sashay through a room in Jersey, and I was like, yes, bitch. Oh, that's all I got to do? Okay, let me learn. Because I was an amateur in a room full of people who had modeled before. That's how me and Kathy met each other. Yeah. I know, I'll talk all day, so let me go on and make my point. I met Kathy, and I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I got 2 left feet. I like to take pictures. I do well at pictures. But you asking me to walk. It was a breast cancer fashion show. And so you're asking me to walk. First of all, I think I walk like a dude. I have a 2-second sexy walk. And that's that I'm in the club and I'm in my heels, but I'm trying to hurry up and get to that seat over there so I can take these shit off and dance. So I can sashay real cute to a chair. But you want me to walk in front of people in heels and then pose and take a picture. Okay, that's too much. First of all, I got chemo brain. I don't think that far. Are you crazy? And I'm a scatterbrain, and I'm like the cat. Something flash in front of my face, I'ma look. Oh, that's shiny. So I was watching Kathy, and I was like, okay. So I said, do your walk again. So she did her walk again, and I didn't know she recorded me until after I became her friend on Instagram. So I pretty much mimicked what I saw her do, but of course added that Tina flavor. And she was like, yes, girl, son. I'm like, I know she lying. I feel like a duck. But
when you watched the video, you was like, oh.
Okay, listen. Listen, I got it together, honey. So yes, I plus size model. I cook. I am just like Miss Anna Lynn. I don't know where she went. She was on my screen. I'll cook you anything from peach cobbler to a turkey. I can cook any ethnicity food. I was with a Hispanic guy for 5 years, so I was cooking authentic Hispanic food around here.
Don't promise us a good time. We coming to Texas.
Come on, baby. I cook. You see my Instagram post, baby. I cook all the time.
Everything looks good.
I see. I need some peach cobbler in my life, Tina.
Listen, baby, I got you. Listen.
All right.
All some scratching made with love.
You so funny. Okay, ladies. Yvonne, do you want to go and then introduce who you brought with you to the group?
I can, but Monique.
Okay. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. I just
okay.
My head,
so, okay, so I'm going to introduce Monique. That's Monique Bonner down there.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, Monique.
Hey.
So, I'm originally from DC area here in Crewe, Virginia now. And my survival story is more about surviving depression and being suicidal. So my journey through that was, it was a very challenging, very depressing, and definitely the lowest point in my life. I did have 2 children at the time, and I'm grateful for the 2 children because I think that's the only thing that kept me from killing myself during that period of time of life. And to be able to talk to my children about that story now, you know, is really, they don't like to hear it because, you know, people don't really like to hear the truth a lot of times. And with family, you know, when you get to the point where you don't have anybody to talk to, which I didn't have anybody to talk to, nobody really understood. And I always say when it comes to the depression and being suicidal, it's kind of hard to explain where your mindset is and what you actually go through. It's almost like people have to have gone through it in order to really be able to relate to it for real. But so that's my story, my journey.
Well, and can I just say this because and I'm only saying this because I'm a licensed counselor, but honestly, people who are suicidal, right? Because this is a topic that gets me, especially when it comes to children. You can actually save a person's life by talking to them about suicide, right? And so the percentages for that person to continue on is increased because they feel like they have someone to talk to. The reason why people commit suicide is because they feel like they're alone and they have no way out. So when you have conversations with your kids, and I'm going to tell you, I counsel kids as young as 4 years old. I think he just turned 4. And at that age, they know about suicide. So if you're not talking to them about it, who is educating them, right?
Right.
And so having tough conversations is what we need to have, because if you educate your child about what suicide is, then they're less likely to go down that road. Is when we don't have those conversations and kids are left up to social media, their friends at school, the kids telling them about what happened to their cousin. And they're like, oh, that's an easy way out. We need to explain to people that that is a permanent choice to a temporary situation. And that is something that we emphasize in the counseling world, because people don't understand that we all go through something, but the thing is we actually get through it, right? And so, you know, I applaud you, Yvonne, because I mean, and you know, I know Yvonne personally. I think the more we talk about our stories, the more people can understand what we've been through. Is when we just pop up and say, oh man, I'm good, I'm all together, and people don't know what you've been through. And that's the purpose why we're still here, because we're walking billboard and miracles happen. And people need to hear the in between because they need hope. I mean, for me, I'm like, where was my hope at? And the whole time I wasn't on social media. But now that we're all on social media, I was like, we're gonna use this platform to elevate, motivate, and I don't know, liberation and anything else I can think of with education.
Definitely. Because with this Generation Z, I think our children are Generation Z, and they openly express that they are depressed, and they co-sign for each other instead of trying to uplift and say, hey, you don't need to feel like that. And they think that when we tell them they don't need to feel like that, or try to talk to them, that we're telling them we're minimizing their feelings. But they co-sign the feeling for that they're feeling like they feel they feel with each other on social media. So if one says they're depressed, they're like, yeah, girl, me too. It's not a, hey, what can we do to make you feel better, or let me talk to you or comfort you. They just co-sign for each other.
And if you ask someone, what does depression look like? And that's my question. When I hear kids say that, like, oh man, I got anxiety, or oh man, I'm stressed. I'm like, well, what does that look like? And if they can't tell you what that looks like, you have to say, well, let's talk about how you're feeling right now. I mean, I have adults too in my session. I'll be like, well, tell me how you feeling. And then I can help you put a label on it. But why put a label on it when that's not what you have? You know, like that's not who you are. But it's all about education. And I mean, Yvonne, again, welcome to the group. This is your first time being here with us. Again, You welcome every Wednesday to join us and motivate and elevate us too. So welcome.
Thank you. Can I say one more thing about it, Kathy, too?
Yeah.
So, one thing when everybody's been talking about the doctors and the people. So for me personally, with that experience, you know, I had actually gotten to a point when they say the mind can be a terrible thing. I had actually turned my mind off. So I was not thinking about anything, but they tried to put me on medication, which they did put me on medication. I don't know what it did because I was still depressed, to be honest. But when I had to go and sit at the table with 4 or 5 people who were trying to get me to tell them what was going on with me so that they could do something for me. And I'm like, fuck y'all. Y'all can't give me the man I want. You can't give me the money I need. I ain't telling you nothing. Figure it out.
Right.
How much 1 + 1 was, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, so
Right.
what now? So you know what I realized? They couldn't do nothing for me for real.
Right.
And I had to tell them in order for them to even think they was doing something. All they did was help me to kind of maintain. I got up enough to take my kids to the babysitter, and that was it. I wasn't working, you know, I know I was being covered that whole time, but matter of fact, Monique's sister, who is my best friend in life, she covered for me the whole time I was out of work. She took care of all my work for me to make sure I didn't get fired.
And see, I think that's major. I just got chills. I think that's major because I think a lot of times, everybody on this call, I consider a strong friend, right? We all have those strong friends, right? We always the ones that are trying to help other people, figure things out for other people, hold things together for everybody. You're the go-to person in all situations. You put others before yourself. That's us, right? We just take care of things. Boom, boom, boom. No matter how disarray our lives are, we still look like we got it together, right? That's us. So I think it's important, like, to have people around you that can call you out, right? Like, oh man, you different. What you got going on? And I mean, I applaud your friends because not everybody cares enough to stop their world to care about someone else. And what I tell people, if you know you got people surrounding you like that already, get rid of them now, because when you go through something, you're going to be way worse because they're not going to check on you. They're not going to pick you up when your car breaks down. They're not going to take you to your appointments if you got cancer. They're not going to help you financially. Why do you still have them in your life? Because all they're going to do is pull you down. And you need someone who's going to lift you up, empower you, speak life into you. If I can encourage anybody, I feel like dump your old friends. If they ain't do nothing for you by now,
they never will.
That's right.
Dump them back. Okay. Just like the doctors. You're gone. You're out of here.
The worst is being told that, like, suicide is selfish. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're contemplating that, and those thoughts and selfish that, and you're like, but I feel like I'm there for everybody, and I feel so alone in this situation. And then it's like, and especially after, like, you fought so hard to save your life, to then have those feelings of like, I don't want to be here. It's a horrible feeling. So it's very complex.
Guilt. Yeah, we call it survivor's guilt. That's a real feeling, Kelsey. I mean, even for me, after I survived cancer, I felt horrible. Like when people were celebrating, I felt like, why am I still here? Like, I mean, that's a real legit feeling. And then you may have 20 people around you and still feel like you're alone.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because nobody can associate or feel what you feel. And that's why, like, this group means a lot to me, because I want everybody to know you always got somebody. Because when you hear all our stories, it's kind of like it's all the same. It's the same emotion. It's the same issues, bills, men, boyfriends, girlfriends. You may lose your house, your credit is destroyed. But at the end of it, if you got people who go through the trenches with you, you don't feel alone. But it's like, we got to take off our Easter suit and be like, nah, this is what it is. Like, I ain't got my stuff together, but I'm trying and I'm going to get there.
Right.
I'm
a wreck in progress is what I always say. I am a wreck in progress. We are in process of cleaning up. Okay?
Yeah, and I can't help
Go around if you can't handle it.
Tina, I can't help it if I look good while I'm going through it, honey. That's just
hello, somebody.
Okay?
Hello, somebody.
I just think, God, I don't look like what I've been through.
But I am.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, come on, Monique. Push through.
Come
Oh,
on,
okay.
Miss Monique.
Well, guys, I'm in my basement and it's cold, so that's why I'm covered up because it's cold.
Okay.
But I thank Yvonne for inviting me. She told me about this great group, and so I said, okay, well, I'll try it out and see. So I am. Let me see. Found out that I had breast cancer when I was 35 years old. I had a biopsy before in 2001, but it was benign. It was in my right breast, and then I turned around and I had a boyfriend. And I had my chest pains was hurting. I was having chest pains, and I still had milk coming out my left breast. And I was like, well, my daughter's too big for me to have breast coming out my breast. So I'm like, what's going on? And so I was looking at a commercial about breast cancer. And I always meet these guys that was domestic, because I didn't cook and all that stuff. And I'm always meeting these guys that know how to cook and do all these things. So
Lucky you, girl. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Where you find them at, Miss Monique?
Well, I don't know. They just come to me. They just come to me. But so I met this guy and I had asked him, do he not do breast exams? The commercial had came on. I said, you know how to do breast exams? I was being fresh. I was being frisky.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, I do. So I said, okay, well, give me one. So he did.
Ow.
And he said, you have a lump. I was like, oh, okay. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, I told him I wanted to get a breast exam. The doctor said, no, it's just a little bit of cyst in your breast, blah, blah, blah. I said no, because I had that lump. I had a lump before in 2001, and it was benign. So I was like, no, I want a breast exam. So I made him give me a breast exam. Well, made him, do the process of me getting a breast exam. So we went and we did the breast exam, and she did a sonogram. And when she rubbed the sonogram over my breast, and I said, and she was like, does it hurt? I said, no, it's like sore, like when you work out and whatever. And I said, I'm a little sore. So then it went on. And to make a long story short, or short story longer, I found out that I was in stage 2 breast cancer. And I love my hair. I love my hair. So I was thinking about my hair more than anything. It's crazy, but that's
that was the first thing you thought about.
I thought about my hair. Yeah,
right.
I had pretty long hair, and I thought about my hair.
Monique, that's a real thing. Because let me tell you, that is a real feeling. Because we associate, this world has us associating beauty with long locks, with now it's hips, bigger lips, whatever that looks like. But we associate everything when we are little girls, like growing up, the princess, but the first thing you think about is your hair. You because you see pictures of people who are bald and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to look like that. I'm going to lose all my hair. And it's traumatic. That's freaking traumatic when you are attached to your hair.
Yeah. And so I love my hair. So, so when I found out, I had this really great doctor. His name was Dr. Thong. I love him. Unfortunately, he has succumbed to his own cancer. He died of prostate cancer. So, but when I did it, I was in stage 2. So I have these 2 amazing sisters, Angie and Nisi, and that's Yvonne's best friend, of course. So I have these 2 amazing sisters. One sister, she goes to the doctor, she does everything with you. The other sister will stay home and watch the kids, which is Nisi. So she'll stay home and watch the kids, and Angie will go with me and stuff to the doctors and stuff like that. So this particular day, I'm skipping over a lot of stuff because it's such a long story. It is a beautiful story, but I'm skipping over a lot of it. But Nisi was at home with the kids, and I had to go. This was a time where they told me I was stage 2, and I had to get a lumpectomy. So I still have my breast. I just got a lumpectomy. And so I went to the doctor. Angie was there. Denise was like, I want to come to the doctor with you. Now I'm gonna tell you about my sister. My sister is a praying sister. When she pray, I don't know, it's like Jesus right there. It's like you really could see him. Like he's really, really there. And so when she came to the hospital, she said, I want to come to the hospital with you. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. Came to the hospital with me, and I was getting my lumpectomy. And she said, we're going to pray. And she prayed in the lobby, and I'm telling you, she lit it up. And like everybody just stopped. People walking in. It was like everybody was joining in the prayer. She just lit it up. So we went through that process, and then we was watching TV, and it was time for me to have my surgery. Now, let me tell you, I didn't want any more kids. I said, if I turn 30, I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys and a girl. They all grown. 34, 27, and one is about to be 29 next month. So I had 3 kids, and I didn't want any more children. So at the time that I was getting my lumpectomy, I was also getting get my tubes tied at the same time, because I don't like to be under the knife. So I told them they had to do it both at the same time. So I had one doctor at the top and one doctor at the bottom. So that worked out. So, but
we call that a 69 in some world out there.
Okay, I had a 69. That's exactly what I had. I'm gonna use that one. Thank you. So, we're at the doctor. We're doing that, and I see my doctor walk towards me. I know I'm drowsy and everything, and I see my doctor walk towards me. Let me go back to my sister. My sister has always spoke over my life. I never listened to her. I was just never paid attention to her. She would tell me things about things that happened to me or that's going to happen, or about people in my life, and I just never paid attention to her. But they always came to fruition. So when the doctor came towards me, he had a frown on his face. Although I was under the anesthesia, he had a frown on his face. And then I screamed. And my sister said to me,
"It's okay, Monique. We here, girl.
Okay.
We got your back, girl. Go ahead, push through."
She said, "God told me that you are going to be okay. He said that you are going to survive cancer. You're going to go through the process, but you're going to survive."
Amen.
So that was fine. I got through that. I listened to her. I believed her because she always spoke over my life. So I believed her. And then it was time for me to actually get the results, because they tell you that they don't know that it's cancer, but in reality, they really do know that it's cancer once they get it right, once they do it. So, okay, so fine. We go to the doctor, nice sunny day. He tells me that I have to have chemo. All I'm thinking about is what? My hair.
My hair.
I'm thinking about my hair.
Think about this, our hair.
I'm like, my hair. Like, that's it. So I run out, like you see on television when people get bad news. I run out the doctor screaming. I fall to my knees, and as clear as day, I heard him say, "Rise, you're going to be okay."
Amen.
And that was it. So with that being said, that was 15 years ago. I was HER2 negative. I'm not on any medication. I just had a mammogram. That's great. And I haven't had any issues.
Girl.
Now only that what he has
if I knew how to go, what's that?
Now what he has taken out of my life is people that don't belong. Like you said, the men, people that I thought were my friends, or people that thought they totally disappeared. They thought I was dead. They already gave me a death certificate. But the guy who found the lump, he's no longer, we were no longer in a relationship. He left too. But I was mad at first. And then what I realized is that God didn't bring him in my life to be in a relationship.
Right. That's
He brought him in my life. He brought him in my life to find that lump. And that was it. He served his purpose.
To save you.
To save me. And that was it. But we're friends to this day. We're friends because I went and I thanked him. I thanked him for what he was supposed to do for me at that time. So, but other than that,
Monique, and that's important though, because you know why? A lot of times we look at life, people be like, "Why are you so positive? Why are you?" Because you have to look at things like it's not what we want. Sometimes it's divine intervention, right? So just think about if you would have handled that situation a little differently, you may not be here. So sometimes we have to take our emotion out of what's going on and look at it with a clear eye view, right?
Right.
And not have our tunnel vision. And sometimes I'm like you, because I'm like, why is this person in my life that want to hurt me, take advantage of me? Sometimes we put that on ourselves because we force people to be in those positions, right?
Right.
And then later on, we like, man, it's too much. I can't take it, Lord. Take it off me. But we ask for all of it.
Right.
Talk about it. But I must say that I listened to you guys earlier, and a lot of my stuff a lot of the things that I had a wonderful doctor. I had that year that I had found out I had breast cancer at my church, we had prayer partners. And just so happened my prayer partner that year had found out a month before me that she had breast cancer. So we end up partnering up, and then she ended up advising me to her doctor. Her doctor was wonderful. Her doctor treated me really well. My sister Denise, she remembers everything. Oh my God, every medical terminology, whatever. So she went with me, and when the doctor was talking and I didn't understand, she was able to grasp all of that and
absorb it and break it down for you.
Yep. So she did all of that, and my other sister was the one who was, taking me to the doctor. But my sisters took me to the doctor. They was there with me every day. They was with me with my first appointment and my surgeries, and then they switched over. With their job, one took me to chemo. So I found out in August the 8th, I had surgery. Excuse me, I had surgery on August the 8th. I had to go to start my chemo in October. I finished that in October 2005. I finished in January 2005. January 2006. And then I had to go through radiation for a month. And that was February in 2006. And then my period came back on I was like, ah!
Right.
You go through that process.
Like
and I was like, ah!
That's like a curse word.
And then all of a sudden that comes back. I was like, damn it, I was enjoying not bleeding.
That's
but I'm glad
That's
right.
a cuss word. After you haven't had your cycle in so long, that's a cuss word.
Right. And then going through menopause. But one thing I did do, I wanted some oodles and noodles, and I told my kids, can I have it? I want a little bit of hot sauce. And when they put that hot sauce in there, and they told me don't do it, but they put a dab in it, my whole body was like on fire on the inside. It was fire with all the medications. But other than that, I am doing well. And I just thank God for every day. And that's my story. And tonight,
it's me. Yeah. We out here with our Badu. We Badu in Miss Monique.
I just learned how to do it this week, girl.
Yeah, welcome. It's the Baduism feeling.
Welcome, and you are invited anytime, any Wednesday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. Who else do we have on here? Who else do we have? Huh?
Tip. We have Ella. We have Tiffany.
Tiffany, you on here? Let me find where you at, Tiff. What room you in? Hold on. Let me see. Hey, girl.
Hey, Tiffany.
I got this like 5 times. What's up, Tiff? All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Of course, I know you, but what you got going on? What's new?
What's new? I'm just in a peaceful place right now.
Amen.
I'm going through my journey. It has taught me to be very intentional about my time and my peace.
Amen.
And so I've learned not to. Kat, you mentioned earlier, if they haven't done anything by now, let them go.
Hello.
I'm just to the point in my life where if you want to walk, I will hold the door for you. So, and
oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to put that up.
I mean, seriously, because I don't have time for that way. Like, if you're not adding any value or anything to my life, then what do I need you for? My best friend always tells me.
Facts.
Yeah, right. Deuces. My best friend always tells me, he said, I told him that if you can't be used, you're useless. And people think of that.
Oh my God, that's my word. That's my phrase. I use it all the time.
In a selfish way, but that's the truth. Like, we're all here to serve one another. And if I can't use you, then you're useless. What do I need you for?
Right. What's your purpose? You don't no purpose to me.
No, that's
selfish people had to go. Like, anybody who was selfish, anybody who thought about themselves was like, don't let the door hit you. Like,
so I'm supposed to be getting married this month. It's supposed to be 2 weeks ago. So COVID-19, thank you. Unfortunately.
Congratulations.
Well,
congratulations.
No.
Oh.
I dumped them on May. I dumped them on. I put them out on May the 13th.
Well, congratulations.
No. May the 13th. Yeah, after Mother's Day.
Hold on, let me get some more lemonade. Wait a minute.
Congratulations, because as of June 18th is happily divorced.
Absolutely, congratulations. Because like you said, if you ain't useful, you're useless. So goodbye. See you later, Gator.
And here's the thing, right? So when you go through something traumatic, what happens is your walls are brought down. You are more susceptible to reoccurring trauma. And what happens is people around you, they are already normal. And when I say normal, I don't mean like they are the healthiest people because they're used to psycho behavior, right? So as traumatic as cancer is, going through surgeries, an accident, whatever your trauma is, people are like, you're like a magnet now. People are like, oh, I can take advantage. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Oh. And you're like, I just want to live. I just want to be here today. I just want to be loved. And they're like sucking everything out of you.
But once that third eye open up, you like, wait, because when you laying on your back and you really, when you laying on your back after that surgery and you like, okay, Lord, I just opened my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Kelsey?
What happened to Tina?
What?
Oh, Katina's frozen.
I don't know what happened. She froze.
That's because my mama called in the middle of me talking.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to say, did somebody
Mama, we on the podcast. Mama,
and then she so damn rude. I said, Mama, let me call you back. I'm on a Zoom meeting. She just hung up. She didn't say, okay, bye, I'll call you. So damn
I was
rude.
like, girl. No, but go
She
ahead.
probably saying, you said your meeting was at 6. It's 7:21. I know her. Mama, I talk to people who not in Texas. I tell you this every Wednesday. She don't listen. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Where was I going with my dang on thought process?
Trauma.
Oh, because when you land there and you going through that and you realize, you get over that whole, I just want to live, Lord, why me? And you get over that hump and you like, you know what? I'm resilient. I got this. Fuck the bullshit. And you get your fuck it kick in. Fuck that.
Right.
Fuck you. Fuck that. Fuck this.
Right.
I'm not doing it. I'm not dealing with it.
I need my fuck it sign up here. Where is it really?
And they like, oh my God, you're changing. And oh my God, what baby, what's the matter? It's like I can't talk to you no more. No, you can't shoot the bullshit to me no more.
Right.
I'm not here for it.
Yeah, I'm not putting up with your bullshit. You can't be a victim anymore. Like, you can't do that. I'm gonna call your ass out.
Period. Like, look. Boy, I done sat up here and I done got this red devil put in me today. You think I got time for your bullshit? No. It's orange and I'm not here for it. And I want some chicken and like you, Miss Monique, and I want some hot sauce on it. But my insides is on fire right now. So what I need you to do is stop talking to me. Okay? And you get to a point where you just don't have time for it. I don't have time for anybody who is not meaningful in my life.
I'm over
it. I always say, I'm like, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of people, but I have the best fucking people. Like the ones who stuck around, the ones who are okay when I call them out on their bullshit and are like, oh, who thank me for calling them out. Those are my people. I don't have a lot of them, but you know what? I don't need a fucking lot of them.
You don't? Well, you do have a lot of us. You stuck with us, girl. You can't get out our
Okay, Kelsey. Listen.
Even if you be like, jump me, we're not gonna jump you. We were like, girl, we gonna cook and we gonna drink and you still stuck with us. Like, we'll show up at your house. Okay, that's who we are. Okay, don't disappear on us.
Katina's gonna bring the peach cobbler. I'll bring some chocolate cake and charge a wine. Come on with it.
Don't learn how to do burlesque.
Okay, Ella, she gonna teach us. Yes, because I love to dance. Come through, burlesque. Oh, and I think I'm already low-key sexy, but I don't have no Megan Stallion knees no more, so go slow.
Hey, you guys, you have one more person on here. I don't know if Ella is still on here.
Ella, are you with us? Hey, boo-boo. Hi, Ella. Hi, Ella.
Sorry, guys. I really wasn't ready. I looked on Instagram, saw Kathy's link, and I was like, oh, shoot, let me jump on. And I was eating, and I had just made dinner. But I'm so glad I got to jump on. Your stories were amazing.
Yeah, so you can eat, Marsha.
Girl, we are
It's
eating
okay.
and
You can
drinking.
eat, you can drink. It's totally no judgment. We really don't care.
I'm disappointed when she told me about the alcohol consumption. I was disappointed. I was like, damn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Damn. I have lots of alcohol. But I don't drink every day. I'm a social drinker. So, but still.
So-
And even if
so
I'm by
tell us
myself,
about
I drink
yourself,
every
Marsha.
day.
I'm being social by myself. So, at home.
I need the social distance from the bottle. That's what I need to do.
Is your mic on, Marsh? Say something. Say something, Marsha.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, now we can hear you. Okay, so introduce yourself to the group, girl.
My name is Marsha L. Hi. I'm a singer, songwriter, bionic, and I'm an amputee too. I'm what am I? I'm an AK on the right. I'm above the on the right. And I just thank you guys for having me. First off, it's good to hear other people's voices. I've been quarantined. I'm in Miami, and we're like going through like a complete meltdown. Our whole state. It's a lot of chaos.
It's bad there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The idiot Santos, whatever his name is.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of disorganization. You can drive 3 miles to another city in completely different rules, and you won't know, and you'll get fined, and you're like, oh no, where am I? Because of how close and yet how disorganized you are. But it's good to hear, your voices. I have to tell the story of how I met Kathy real life, because wasn't it Memorial Weekend, right?
Yeah.
And Kathy is
Well, first of all, listen, hold on, Marsh. If everybody don't know me by now, listen, I'm carefree, I'm loving, and I like to have a great time. Go ahead, Marsh.
Yeah. Kathy's very good at telling her story. Somehow I came across her profile on Instagram. And so you're not going to miss that smile, that energy, that confidence. I'm walking the strip of Ocean Drive, chaos. It's Memorial Weekend, music, drinks. I see a red bathing suit. I think it was red. I think you had a red on.
Yeah.
My scars. I'm like, oh, I'm with my best friend. I'm like, I know her. Like a creep. I go on Instagram and I'm like, I know her. So I'm like, I don't usually do that. I'm very like reserved. And I was like, I inbox and let her know, like, you're in my city. I love what. Can you hear me? Sorry, someone just called me.
Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
I love what you stand for. Thank you for what you do. So that was kind of what it was. And Kathy was just so inviting, and we ended up meeting with your IROCKMYSCARS retreat down here in Miami, and it's just a sisterhood. It's so important. I needed it. It's been such a blessing to me. So I'm glad to be on and to hear your stories. And Yvonne, it's good to see you. Hey, baby!
Yeah, and it's amazing, and Marsh, because we all meek and mild about our stories and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna brag for her a little bit. So meeting her, number one, was the cutest thing, because she was like, is that you? Somebody has an IROCKMYSCARS bathing suit. I think I just seen him walking down, and I'm like, yeah, girl, where you at? The next thing is, when I met her, the story of just empowerment of the sisterhood. So the body image, everything that you stood for was that I may not have been comfortable growing up, but now I feel like I'm the bomb.
Yes, in short form. Yes, that's exactly. And I think that was our connection. I did grow up, with a lot of different insecurities, and I was born in Haiti, so there's always a stigma when you're in a environment where this is novel. Like, no, there was no sonograms. I just came out with one leg, and everyone's like, So what do we do?
Right.
Let's take it to America. We'll figure it out. And growing up and learning, every year I'm getting a new leg. I'm learning to walk every year. I'm trying, my body's changing. And
thank you.
Let's see. And one thing I think you guys all pointed out, having good physicians and good doctors and patients advocacy is basically what has brought me this far. I had great doctors at the Shriners Hospital at the age of 13. I had a full SIMS amputation. And I think my life started to change then. Still dealing with insecurity, still dealing with like, how do I fit in? And of course you're middle school trying to date, everyone's dating. And I'm like wearing baggy clothes in Orlando in 100-degree weather because I'm insecure. This leg is bulky. It's not my skin tone. It's white, not white. And so it was just like,
no, it's true. Like when they bring out like a display of skin tones for your prosthetic. And I remember like the first time I got a prosthetic, I'm like, okay, I get that I'm white, but this is a shameful like selection of skin tones. Like there's like 3. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's already hard going through like what we go through, but then it's like when you get a part where you're like, they don't even look like who I am. It really doesn't help your self-esteem with body image. Like,
right.
No. And you don't, it doesn't help with confidence at all. And customization, even now, is slowly but surely trying to be more inclusive. But then you deal with the insurance and always having to fight with them to even pay for it. And it's an interesting journey. I'm very grateful for having support, like having these type of groups. And I had a group of amputees I met in Utah. And that goes to show you how much I wanted that type of camaraderie. I got a call from a nurse coordinator who said, "Hey, Kim, would you like to go to Utah to go skiing?" I'm from Orlando, never been on a plane, never been in snow, never seen snow. I was like, absolutely, sign me up. A week later, I'm on a mountain skiing down, awesome, bruising my shin, having the time of my life. But it was a group of amputees that I had never met before, and I felt like I belonged for the first time ever. And I think that catapulted the whole, I'm beautiful. I have to accept myself, even if you don't fully believe it yet, keep saying it. And if my friends can make it through, I need to start, carrying a better demeanor about myself. And
well, Marsha, and then, okay, I have stories for days. So so for the Rebels retreat, we went to Miami and I surprised everybody. So we did this little yacht trip, right? So I think it was Sunday or something. We all went on a yacht for a couple of hours. And we was like, woo, woo, we bring our drinks, bring your chicken, bring whatever you want to bring. Let's get on this yacht and have fun. Woo. Well, I was, okay, amazing. I'm having fun. And of course, I drink liquor. So I'm a little liquored up. And everybody else is like, oh, we getting in the water. Well, I'm not a great swimmer, okay? I can float and swim a little bit just to save my life. Well, Yvonne and lady named Mary, which is another one of our friends, was like, oh, we getting in the water. So the water, you literally can get off the boat and stand in it. But it was the weirdest thing. But the boat was like 20,000 boats or something. I don't know, maybe 20 boats in the water. And you could just get off the boat and stand. So Marsha looks at me. Now remember, I'm just getting myself ready. I'm like, let me put down my phone. Let me make sure this is recording everybody. Marsha looks at me and was like, Kathy, I'm gonna just take my leg off and I'm jumping in the water. I was like, hold on, because now you gotta remember I was so liquored up. Yeah. I said, what'd you say, Marsha? I said, what you gonna do?
Hold my leg.
I said, what the hell? Right, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, everybody know I can't swim. So I'm looking at Marsha like, Marsha, can you swim? Marsha's like, boom. I said, oh my God.
That's hilarious. It was such a good time.
I was like, Marsha, my friend forever. I was like, girl, you are rebel. You don't care. You trying it. And I think the most important thing was you felt so comfortable around us to be like, yo, I'm going to be myself. And I know if anybody else got to say, we'll beat them up. And you was absolutely right. I would have smacked somebody if somebody said something to you.
I hit him with the leg.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
say that
so
all the
comfortable.
time.
That was the first time I've ever, like, I go on the yachts, usually just take cute pictures and sit. I've never taken my leg off and gotten into the water because we had built such a great rapport with each other within 2 days.
Right.
And then we even had like a heart-to-heart with the owner of the boat, and they like it was a whole like party. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was.
And hearing their story was even more amazing when they told us about their daughter who actually was going through having a disability. And just to start tapping into, and I mean, that's what I really want I Rock My Scars to represent is like judgment. Like, you'll never know when somebody's going through something. It can be right beside you. And sometimes a smile can save a life. And if we would have never gotten to know the boat owners, we would have never knew their story. I mean, they looked like they had it going on. They were normal people, Miami, boom, boom. And underneath, they was really hurting because they couldn't really save their daughter. And because I think she was in an accident or something. And so that left her disabled. And so to see Marsha and then to hear about everybody else was survivors of something, empowered them, like, man, and they're stuck with us too, because I mean every year we're going to go on their boat. So if y'all down for the Miami trip, that's where we going.
Yes, we're gonna go ahead of time this time because I had already booked for St. Lucia when I got the email the last time. I was low key like salty. Listen, it ended up being a great time, but like.
Well, next time we're gonna plan, and every year it's usually around October because I like to do the cancer walk, the breast cancer walk in Miami, and I like to support them. So we all try to at least raise $100 per person, so we can give something to them and raise. So that's something that's huge. So I think I got everybody on the call now. Did I hit everybody on here?
I think so. I think so. I think we got everybody.
Woo! Okay. I ain't gonna hold y'all, but there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So a lot of times we talk about us and our sexuality and how we feel sexually. I wanted to ask you guys, and then I didn't know if men were going to join us or not, but usually men with breast cancer, like, I wanted to see, and I have to do research, is their sexuality like ours? Is it decreased? Right? And then
who decreased?
Right, I'm about to say who decreased.
Okay, who decreased?
Ain't no decrease yet.
How many people?
What I told y'all the first call.
You said you didn't go decrease at all.
I'm hot box central. It's like it got worse, especially after the tubal, after my hysterectomy, after all these 50 million surgeries. It's like every time I had a surgery, it was like it notched up. I'm like, look, pimp.
You gotta be in
like
the 1%.
I'm like, I have been on the verge of death so many times. I am getting it. I'm gonna feel alive as much as I fucking can.
Like,
right,
so
honey.
I roll over and still gotta touch it myself because it's I'm 24/7 hot box. And then after the histo, I thought, well, okay, I don't have a hysterectomy. Like, Tina, it should go down now. Now you really should calm down. Nope, still a hot box.
Still up. Okay.
Still a hot box.
Well, you a hot box for us all because, girl, we were talking about how ours decreased, but hot box central, we need some Texas water.
I'm hot box central. What's that thing?
You a hot pocket? Oh, what? Let's talk about that. What happened?
I got my toy right beside my bed. I ain't got time playing.
Listen, I got a cord on her and everything. She get charged up like my phone.
Exactly.
So, Monica, you didn't experience. Monique, you didn't experience any decrease in your sexual side?
Only when I was going through chemo, and that was for that period of time I didn't want to, because you go through, it's like menopause. You go through menopause, you don't really feel like it. But no, I'm good.
See,
that didn't happen to me. Even when I was going through chemo, I still wanted the D.
I did do it still, but it wasn't really like that.
No, it was like on fire, and this one nipple, I was touching her all the time. It's like it got in the shower, and just the shower water had a hot. I was like, girl, get your life together. This is not okay.
I just don't have anyone right now. I have my toy, so that's who I enjoy, and I'm gonna hold on to that. With COVID-19 out here, you don't want to be up in nobody right now anyway.
Listen, I had a whole husband, and I still had a box. And now I don't have a box. Now I got a friend, and I make him use the box with me. Come on, we finna go play. It's time to go play.
I think you gotta have important. That's important, right? That is definitely important.
If you don't want to play, you need to go away.
Period. Because I will play by myself.
Exactly.
Period. Okay. I always tell him, I said, so we playing patty cake today. He was like, again? Yes, again. So fuck you mean again? I don't have none of the parts that a baby can come in here, baby. We can play all day. Hello.
Not patty cake.
We're playing patty cake. That's what I say. We are playing patty cake.
Okay. Next question, because Tina has made my face hurt.
I'm sorry.
Okay. How did y'all? Okay, so majority of people, and I say majority, if you haven't experienced, just put it in other contexts of when you're hot. So how do you remain calm and cool when hot flashes happen, or you go through menopause, or I don't know, maybe something chemically imbalanced issue that you have? How do you stay cool? Like, do you put the cold pack over your head? Do you carry around a fan? Do you eat ice? How do you stay cool?
Popsicles. You eat popsicles. Because I'm 50 now. I'm 50 now, so I have periodically will have that issue. I guess as I was turning that, I'll have a hot flash. So like last year, I was like, my period, I hadn't had a period since November, and this year, I think it just came on maybe like March. So from November to March, I didn't have a period. So I was in that menopausal stage or whatever. So it was popsicles for me. I ate popsicles.
I just started thinking, so you mean to tell me I'm going to go through menopause once it's all over, I'm going to have to go through menopause again?
Possibility, yeah. You're going to have to. Till it's actually over. Till it's a wrap. Until it's a wrap. But it's horrible. We're done. Menopause. You're on fire. I can't stand it. It's just like, oh my God, you're always hot.
Right. And then people see you sweating. They be like, well, she on crack or something? You be like, no, I'm having a hot flash. I'm not on crack. This is hot flash sweat, and back up off of me. I can't stand it.
Before I throw this wig at you, get out my face.
Girl, listen, when I went and got my shot, Tina, I'm telling you, I took my wig off. I had these 2 braids looking gangster.
Okay, that's what's up under her. Listen, I will sit that daggone wig on the dashboard.
Yes, I am. Hot flash. That wig came off. What?
I am not ashamed.
No, not at all. So, okay, what is y'all side hustles? Because a lot of people lose their job, and I want to share with people, just because you're going through something, and a lot of times we look at our jobs because we've been there forever, right? And we're like, this is all we know. This is all we could do. What are some side hustles that you found out that work for you that you can share with other people where they can look at, if you lose your job, you have backup?
Well,
so for me, I did Instacart. So I still have my job. I still get paid for my job, but it was just, I work from 5 a.m. to 2. So I just needed something to do to keep me going. So I did Instacart. I was bringing like $1,200 a week on Instacart before, but now this, they're starting to open things back up in Maryland and DC. So it's getting a little low. And my job is now making me earn my money instead of sitting at home. I'm doing nothing. So I haven't did it lately, but Instacart is that one of the things that I did.
Okay.
What were you gonna say, Tiffany?
Oh, so I do hair. I've been doing hair since I was a teenager. But I only do it.
Me?
Can
you teach me?
Say what now?
Can you teach me? I'm sorry. The one time I'm not loud. Can you teach me?
Sure. But I only do it, so I don't like to do hair, but I can do hair. So I only do it when I feel like I'm like broke. Like I gotta be for real broke to do it.
Well, I was about to say, well, could you just teach us a class you know, I could pay you. Just teach us a class. Can we have a tutorial for everybody?
You just have to watch because it just comes natural for me. So I really don't even know how to teach you. You just have to
Bragger.
Right. It's natural. It's natural.
I done sat there and watched 50 million YouTube videos. I just mastered how to crochet my hair. And now I'm over it because that's all I done wore through quarantine is crochet styles because I can't do nothing else. That's all I got.
So now you need to do that because some people can't even do that. So now you need to crochet other people's hair.
All I have that has been my little side hustle. That's one of my many side hustles. See, I got a lot of hustles. I've done some of everything. I love to cook. I cook, you know, when my kids were really small, I cooked 3 meals a day. And so when I was going through, I wasn't going to work, you know, I'm a federal officer. That's what I'm supposed to do in most of my time, but whatever. We'll talk about that's a whole nother day.
Right.
Please don't get me started on them people.
We not gonna get
they play with my shit.
Right. Lord, don't play with the money and don't play with the babies.
Okay, so that's what prompted me to start Tasty T's Kitchen. It's because I was already cooking 3 meals a day, and you know, most of the time I went to chemo at the county hospital. So we were literally, it was like a job. We were there from 6 o'clock in the morning to like 4 o'clock in the evening because it was an all day fucking process. So I started bringing food. I love to cook, so I would cook, and I would just start bringing pans of food, and they, you know, hey, look, put in on this, making it, and I started selling plates, and that continued to be my hustle, selling plates, selling desserts. You know, that's my hustle, that's my thing, and then it turned into I cater on the side. I hate catering. I hate it because people too picky.
Right, it's a lot.
Never want to pay you. They picky and they don't want to pay you. You want all of this. You want steak and shrimp and lobster, and you don't want to pay for that. Girl, listen, I don't have a crew. It's me. I'm the crew.
Right. And they always want you to make something and give it to them for free.
Right.
I have to pay for it, so why you?
Okay, go ask Red Lobster to cook you all that for $20.
Right. Yep. That's how you have to respond.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else got a side hustle? Or
I sell my cakes, but I hear you, Tina. Like, people will be like, I want your biggest cake, and I want you to make fondant figurines, and I want to pay $30 for it. And I'm like,
right.
That's like a dozen.
No.
And I'm like, do you know what a pound of butter costs? Have you ever gone to the store and bought buttermilk? That shit ain't cheap.
It's not a machine standing here doing it for me. I'm standing here mixing it. I'm on my feet. I'm making sure I don't fuck up and burn your cake. Because
you paying for my time and my talent. That's the reason.
Right. I'm the one doing the dishes. I'm the one washing my floor afterwards. Like, I'm the one cleaning my pans. Like, not to mention like the cake and the icing and the fondant. Like, I'm doing all the other
I'm the one on Amazon at 3 a.m. ordering this glitter because I've had an idea pop in my head that would be cute for the damn cake that you asked me to make.
Word up.
So now I only do it.
People be like, "Oh, you do hair in your house? You the only one doing it, and you got your own overhead." But I still gotta pay my water bill. I still gotta pay my electric bill when I'm using my dryer. You paying for my time and my talent too, so you gonna pay the same like at the salon. I got my license, so don't question me.
Right.
Good. Yeah, no, I just
I didn't mean to bring no anger out y'all, but I'm glad y'all getting it out y'all system.
Okay, I'm sorry. We did like this was supposed to be positive. Promote yourself. We out here ranting.
No. So basically, is people want homemade stuff for
the low.
Well, you gotta go ahead and just get processed food and don't ask us for homemade, because homemade is catering, and it's it's more money because it's time. So people know that. They can sit down, read a book.
I find it like I get lowballed. Like, I think it's part of like being a woman. Like, a man doesn't go in and be like, this is my cost, and people don't start to negotiate with them. Or even then, like, even as a birth doula, people are like, you charge a lot of money, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm giving up alcohol for 5 weeks. I will. Okay. You can call me at 2 a.m. when your water breaks, and I will be there. Who else is going to be there?
Right.
And it's like I'm like, I already know it's expensive to find caterers. Like when I was planning my wedding, that was the thing. I was like, oh, fuck y'all, I'm gonna cook this damn food my damn self. And my mom was like, how you gonna cook your own food at your own wedding? Because they got me fucked up if they think I'm gonna pay their prices. You know, wait, seriously, what? You know what? Never mind, don't worry about that. You know, so when I went, that's what made me say, okay, you know what, then if I'm gonna do this catering, I'm gonna make my prices reasonable, because I saw what it took, and I'm like, first of all, this ain't even enough food. Second of all, that looks nasty. Third of all, where's your presentation? Third, ugh.
That's important.
So, you know, so I'm already lowballing myself by trying to be competitive and give you a lower price. And then I'm giving you good quality food. I'm so meticulous about how I plate things, how things look, how it's presented. So, baby, I'm giving you my umph. I would never feed you anything that I wouldn't put in front of my own people. So, it's, you know, I'm already cutting myself short coming to the table, and then to sit down and say, this is what I'm offering, this is how I'm offering it, this is my price. Well, what if I buy my own groceries? This is what I'm offering, this is what you're asking for, this is my price. Well, what if I do this?
You're not a mechanic. I'm like, I work miracles. I'm not a mechanic. You're not gonna bring the parts here and then ask me to put it together. No.
Right.
And you're not gonna bring me subpar ingredients and then say, hey, this is what I wanted, but I didn't get this. But this is the
right. It don't taste like what you cooked at the it don't taste like what you brought it to work, because at work I brought quality ingredients. Now you done went over here and bought this Etch-a-Sketch shit, and you want me to make it
a Picasso, right?
Listen, that's why I hate catering.
All right. So anybody else that wants to add before we get off? Because you know we can talk forever.
All night. I think the last time it was like 9, 10 o'clock my time. So I know it was like 11 o'clock the last time.
Girl, we can talk forever. So anybody else got a side hustle they want to share, or?
I sell vinyl records.
You sell vinyl records?
Stop licking me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a dog. Keep this on my nerves.
So I've been doing it for like this year. I got a little bit more serious about it. Like I don't like go to record shops currently because of COVID and all that stuff. But I have inherited a couple of you know, what's that word I'm looking for? Not catalogs, but like collections. Yes, Jesus. Right. That's Timo brain right there. So I got a few collections. I got like 3 collections just given to me. And it turns out that like one album that I received that was like in amazing condition was like $35 for that press. And I got it.
See?
Just like, holy shit. So, you know, the cool thing about it is like, you never know like whose collections are going to come your way. And like Discogs will price it out for you already. They'll tell you like what the median price is, or they'll tell you what the average price is. And so I've been doing it since the beginning of this year. And so like it was crazy. And like May, I think I sold like $400 worth of records in just like the month. I'm sorry, not May. It was April because of quarantine. Everybody was inside, so they all bought records.
Get with you, Kelsey. You need to teach me that, because I got all my daddy old records just sitting over here in the corner collecting dust. Look,
I'll tell you,
you make some money.
I can need a cute $400 in my life. I know somebody will give me something for this Thriller album.
Yeah,
right.
Seriously,
you better hold on
like
to
like jazz records, for example, are heavily sampled. Yes. So like jazz records are like sampled, you know, so if like a song is a hit, then that sample that will be worth a lot of money. My White Whale is worth like $700. It's a French funk record called Quartet. Yeah. And so like if you ever find an original press of that, like you better snatch it. They've been repressed and stuff, but there are things that are worth a lot of money. So that's what I do. I find like what I have, and I just basically realize like somebody may want to buy it. And so just like put it up, and then if I sell it, I sell it. So that's my side hustle.
Right.
And Rover, when Rover was a thing, but you know, with quarantine and stuff, I'm not dog sitting so much, but here I'm like one of the few local people who will stay at your house and take care of your house and take care of your pet and love your pet. You know, it's great. I love it.
Thank you. Well, the one thing I want to share with everybody, which is not really hard, when I was going through my situation, I had lost my job, right? I was like there for like 20 something years. And I was like, dang, what I'm gonna do for money? And so I came across Poshmark, right? And they allow you to sell your, Poshmark allows you to sell your clothes. And you basically sell your whole entire closet. And honestly, that paid my bills for like 4 months because I was like Poshmark. And now I still do it. So a lot of times when we take ourselves to the thrift store, I'm like, I don't want that anymore. Somebody does, even if it's like for $5, $10, and they pay for shipping, right?
Right.
And that's
I
it.
just did a lot of purses. I just put a lot of my purses on Poshmark.
Girl, they and now they're doing furniture or like pictures. They're doing like, you know, acts and stuff. So now you can do that. But you know, that's just a little thing I wanted us to share, because sometimes, you know, you have ideas and you feel like you don't have ideas, and we have it in us. But so ladies, I enjoyed y'all, of course. And
thank you for
I'm
having
so
me.
sorry it's time to go. I'm so sorry it's time to go. Every Wednesday, you're welcome to come and join back 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I have to say my saying, know that you are the best and better than the rest and nothing less, because you were made by God. And you all are special to me. I love each and every one of you. Thank you, newbies, for coming and joining the road.
Thank you.
Yes. Please come back.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah.
Always enjoy the conversation.
Thank y'all.
So great to meet y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Bonnie. Bye, Bonnie.
Bye.
Ah,
Bye-bye.
bye.